Elite Legend, in this rising Biden economy, it is nearly impossible for you to afford basic utility. I am now working at the Sanctum Sanctorum, and even Doctor Strange cannot afford to pay his utility. It is finally time for you to stop purchasing action figure! Wong, can you please have Cobra Commander perhaps use the Weather Dominator? I'm freezing. Wong Guy.
Welcome back, true believers. Elite Legend back at you guys with another Marvel Legends video. Elite Legend almost said G.I. Joe Classifieds. Now, I know it's been a while since my last Marvel Legends video. The last one that I did featured the top 10 X-Men comic book characters of 2021. Now, the Elite Legend did not forget about the other planned top 10 lists that I had in mind. But unfortunately, the Elite Legend was hanging out at Target one day. I saw the prices for certain Super 7 G.I. Joe figures, and the Elite Legend went into a coughing fit. I couldn't catch my breath. My chest was hurting. I couldn't breathe. And I ended up going and getting a COOV test. And unfortunately, high prices will do that to a fella. Now, that was $17.99 for a mini reaction figure. I don't know how the Elite Legend is going to be able to handle the $25.99 price hike of Marvel Legends. Listen, baby, you can barely afford to put food on the table. This is going to be the first time that the American dream finally agreed with Dave from accounting. It's time to stop purchasing action figure, baby. Well, I don't know about that. The Elite Legend is addicted to this plastic crack, so I gotta keep buying Marvel Legends figures. So unless you're living under a rock, you know that there's a brand new wave of Marvel Legends that went up for pre-order at literally every retailer and e-tailer there is. The brand new wave of Marvel Legends was available on Hasbro Pulse, where fans come last. It was available at Big Bad Toy Stores. But you all know, when you make an order from Big Bad Toy Store, those bros don't ship. I don't think they were available at GameStop, but hey, when I say take it with a grain of salt, if you do see those available at GameStop, take it with a grain of salt. Because those bros are very similar to Big Bad Toy Store when it comes to bros not shipping. Now, bros that do ship, Dorkside Toys, they were available on Dorkside Toys. They were also available at Target. Now, you know what happens when you order from Target. You're going to order your figures. They're going to charge you every third day. They're going to reverse the charges. Then they're going to charge you every third day. And then they may just randomly cancel your order due to a lack of availability. Now, these figures were also available on Amazon. And Amazon, if you were lucky and you placed your order early, you were able to take advantage of the $22.99 price. Now, you're probably going to have to wait till November, but with Amazon, it's usually a toss-up, but on rare occasions, you do end up getting your items a little bit earlier. So they were available on Amazon for $22.99. Everywhere else was $25.99. I do think Target may have had them for $23.99, and if you have your red card, you get that 5% discount as well. So let the Elite Legend know in the comments, where did you order your Bonebreaker Marvel Legends X-Men wave from? The Elite Legend went the route of Hasbro Pulse and Amazon. Now, whenever we're talking about new Marvel Legends waves, the Elite Legend being an addict to the plastic, I start to feel a little bit of excitement. I start to feel a little bit of anticipation. Then comes the desperation, the trepidation, and the contemplation that creates a need for Preparation H, baby! That's right, new Marvel Legends waves get me all excited. Like no other line. Like the Elite Legend collects WWE Legends. The Elite Legend collects G.I. Joe Classified. I dabble in some DC multiverse, but nothing gets the Elite Legends blood pumping like a new wave of Marvel Legends. Now, this wave of Marvel Legends has left a sour taste in many people's mouths. It's created a lot of friction in the collecting community because this wave is called the Bonebreaker wave. However, many individuals are calling it the Barebones wave. There is a lot to be desired. Before we start talking about that X-Men wave, let's talk about a wave that has been hitting across the country, and it is none other than the Spider-Man Retro wave. So far, the Elite Legend has only been able to secure Hammerhead and Shocker. And speaking of the Shocker, let's take a look at my DIY Shocker. Now, I know we were talking about Barebones. Originally, this Shocker was a Barebones effort. However, it has an original sculpt, and the Elite Legend helped bringing it out with some Gundam pens. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Whoa! So I am very impressed with the sculpt of the brand new Shocker figure. Looks even better once you bring out that line work with those Gundam pens. And on the left, you see the previous Shocker, which left a lot to be desired. So great job to the folks at Hasbro for this new DIY Shocker. Now, a couple of days ago, a good friend of mine from the Pacific Northwest, Mr. Jason Wood, was kind enough to reach out to the Elite Legend and let me know that the Spider-Man wave was hitting in Washington State. So the Elite Legend pounced on the opportunity to get a Spider-Man. He sent it out to me. It's still en route, but thank you so much, Jason Wood. I can't wait to unbox that symbiote Spider-Man. Thank you so much, Jason Wood. Another wave that's hitting is none other than the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness Rintra Build-A-Figure wave. Say that 5 times fast. I dare you. And whoa! It looks like some of those arrived at the Elite Legends doorstep just recently. So be on the lookout for an unboxing, or in this case, an unbagging of the Rintra Build-A-Figure wave. Yes, I cannot wait. Now, folks have also been finding, of all things, the Avengers wave from several years back at Ross, of all places. Now, if you have a Ross store in your area, that's a discount retailer. It's called Ross Dress for Less. Sometimes you can find gems in there. And apparently many individuals in the Marvel Legends community are finding the Avengers wave. Here you see Spider-Man, and this is was not found in Ross. This is a Spider-Man that I've somehow managed to keep mint on card. You know, the Elite Legend is an out-of-box collector. This is my mint on card retro Spider-Man. Now, when I heard the news that these were hitting Ross, of course, the Elite Legend figured I'll never find it in my Ross. So I was like, I'm not going. And then as soon as I clocked out of work, I decided, hey, I think I might hit up a Ross. Because, you know, when it comes to Marvel Legends and new plastic, they got me. They got me. So the hype train did get the Elite Legend. I drive up to Ross. I go into the toy aisle and... yeah, that's right. Elite Legend found Jack and shit. And speaking of Jack and shit, there are resets across the country at Walmarts and Targets. Because since the demise of Toys R Us, unless you're in Canada, Walmart and Target is the only place that you can rely on for Marvel Legend action figures. So the Elite Legends Walmarts look a whole lot like this. And it's Emily! Emily! Wrong video! Yeah. Yes, folks, if you like Emily, you'll love Elite Legend toys and collectible videos. Starring Emily from Hasbro. Who's Emily? Do you love her? Get back down there, Marsha! I apologize, folks. Marsha gets a little jelly this time of year. Because love is in the air, the Elite Legend is feeling all warm and toasty, and there's a new wave of Marvel Legends to pre-order. The Elite Legend, as I stated earlier, I was able to pre-order my Bonebreaker Bath Wave from Hasbro Pulse and Amazon. and I might get a little anxious and order them from Dorkside Toys because I don't want to wait until November of 2024. So I promised that we were going to talk about the new X-Men wave, and first up, we're going to talk about Wolverine. Now that Wolverine figure does not come with a bath piece, so it's an easy skip for a lot of people that have tons of Wolverine figures. Now, I'm not a Wolverine collector, but then I look at my Marvel Legends collection, and I guess I am a Wolverine collector. This Wolverine comes with heated claws, which looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. The Elite Legend actually ordered one from Amazon, none from Hasbro Pulse. But the thing that is getting a lot of people in the Marvel Legends community a little upset is the fact that this Wolverine figure comes with a screaming head, which is the head that you found on the Hasbro Pulse 5-pack exclusive. And there you see the topless Wolverine. It's getting a little hot in here. He started to take off all his clothes. Good thing Hasbro's design team decided to keep it a little PG, so they stopped at the top. But there you see the screaming Wolverine head that comes with the new Wolverine from the Bonebreaker wave. Now, screaming heads. Let's go ahead and undress the elephant in the room. Did I say undress? Sorry, the Elite Legends mind as always. In the gutter, like on Cicero, on a hot summer night in Chicago, baby. It's gonna get wild up in here. Dusty, where did your shirt go? When in Rome, baby. Okay. That's a little weird. But you know, anything can happen on Elite Legend Toys and Collectibles, pal. Ha ha ha. So that's right. They teased this cape, and then they gave us Siren with windswept hair and a face that looks like she's falling asleep. We didn't get a screaming scan like this Banshee, whom is in dire need of a redo. But let's take a closer look at that Siren. And there you can see the beautiful windswept hair. And I gotta give it to the folks at Hasbro. They're being very inclusive, and they actually hired a blind sculptor for this particular figure. I think this sculptor also did the Sue Storm, or AKA Renee Zellweger, Invisible Girl, in the Fantastic Four wave. Yes, yes, boo these people! Boo them straight to hell! So there's another good look of Siren before we move on to the next figure, which is none other than Vulcan. This is a first in the line figure. Vulcan is a character that debuted in the late 90s. Elite Legend kind of focuses on the 80s and early 90s, but this is a figure that is a welcome addition to my collection. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with any effects for his eyes, no additional head, but it is a brand new body mold that will be replacing the Bucky cap. So the Elite Legend is very excited about Vulcan. A figure that the Elite Legend is not excited about is Darwin. The Elite Legend is not a fan of the Spider-Man body mold. I know that everybody was going crazy for this Spider-Man figure because it was the best that we had at that time, but it's time for this body mold to be retired. I don't like that Darwin figure. I don't like it because of the body. I don't like the head, but the Elite Legend is a sucker and an addict, so he is going to be a welcome addition to my collection. Begrudgingly. A begrudgingly welcomed addition. Kind of a contradiction. But we're talking about the company that gave us Siren with a neutral head, and then trolled us by putting a screaming scan or screaming artwork on the back of the package. And now we turn our attention to Havok. This is one of my most anticipated figures in the entire wave, and I still have a lot of love for the Toy Biz version. However, I'm always excited to get an upgraded body mold from the outdated Toy Biz. Now, unfortunately, the folks at Hasbro design team did a lazy Google job. Google job! That's when you, with a lovely lady or gentleman, if you like Shatterstar, you go ahead and you sit inside the car and you... Dusty! No, Dusty, what are you talking about? PG. I wasn't talking about that kind of Google job, and I don't even think that's a thing, Dusty. But here we see the Toy Biz Havok, and again, the new Havok is going to be a great update. However, the blue designs on the chest leave a lot to be desired. But if you have a steady hand, you can probably, correct that with the proper white deco. But you know Hasbro, they're going to give us probably a white deco down the line. Maybe they'll pack in a Siren screaming head. But we're still waiting on a Cottonmouth screaming head as well. The star of the show for the Havok figure is his effects. These are awesome. Gotta give credit to Hasbro. They didn't lazy out and give us the little effects that they're known to give characters with different types of effects. Like you see here on the Adam Warlock. And Hasbro, please, let's get a classic Adam Warlock. And now we turn our attention to Maggot, whom it could have been a bath. However, he's going to be a single release figure, first time in the line. Here we see issue number 345 of the X-Men from June of 1997. Who is this? Could he be the next X-Men? Well, we all know that he was, but there we see Maggot in all of his glory. And here we see the Maggot figure. Let me know in the comments, what do you feel is the most anticipated figure of this wave? Who's going to be the figure that will fly off the shelves? I think it's going to be Maggot. First time in the line, big, bulky figure. A lot of people are upset that he didn't come with sunglasses, but hey, this is not called the Barebones line for no reason. Now, speaking of Barebones, let's take a look at the brand new classic Sabretooth figure. Yikes. Oh, this guy looks like Gary Busey cosplaying as Sabretooth. Kind of looks like the Green Goblin. Unmasked. And on crack. I'm not a fan of this figure. He's undersized. Terrible scan. Horrible paint apps. Wow. Let's take a look at some other Sabretooth figures in Elite Legends collection. Now, this is a Sabretooth to the far left. This is Toy Biz Sabretooth, and Elite Legend had initially sold that figure. This is one that I was actually lucky enough to find at a thrift store, of all places. And Elite Legend had some magical thrift finds in 2021. Check out my thrift finds playlist to see more. I actually found a McFarlane Spider-Man at a thrift store. Now, in the center is the Sabretooth that the Elite Legend holds near and dear to my heart. It's my main Sabretooth on display. It is none other than the Diamond Select Sabretooth, which is still the best Sabretooth to add to your Marvel Legends collection, even though he's not Marvel Legends. And to the right, we have a Sabretooth. I forget what wave it was from, but it was almost as disappointing as the one that's coming out in the Bonebreaker wave. Let me know in the comments, what's your go-to Sabretooth? Is it one of the ones that you see before you? Will it be the new Bonebreaker version? Let me know in the comments below. Now, the Elite Legend likes when things come full circle. And if you see before you, you see the Toy Biz Sabretooth and the beautiful, still holds up, Toy Biz Venom. Now, these figures are basically, some people in the community will say these are the same figure because they share similar parts. But there you see, Sabretooth and Venom, you see a lot of reuse there. Now, the Elite Legend doesn't mind reuse if it's done right. And what I want is for a classic Sabretooth to use a Venom mold so it can come full circle. Tell me this does not look good. This is the movie Venom with the Marvel Legends head and furry back piece. Look at that. This is sick. And look at the size difference. Beautiful. Oh, my eye! And here is how that mock-up would scale with the Select and Wolverine. Please, Hasbro, use the Venom body mold. And now it's time for the star of the show, the bath to the Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure wave. This is a figure that has been long awaited by collectors. I have wanted it for such a long time. So once Skullbuster came out, we knew we were going to get the rest of the Reavers. It was only a matter of when. Skullbuster came out during the Caliban wave from such a long time ago, it seems. Lady Deathstrike, we see the additional head that came with Skullbuster, and we see the leader of the Reavers, Mr. Pierce there, and Mr. Pierce is in dire need of a update. Hopefully we get one soon. And of course, we need Pretty Boy. But Bonebreaker is the star of the show. I love this figure. I never had the Toy Biz version, but how cool is this? I can't wait to have him. He comes with additional head. So he comes with 2 heads, which is something that Siren should have came with. But hey, I'm very excited about this Bonebreaker figure. Now, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this figure? Is this the early favorite for BAF of the year? I think this is the only BAF that came out this year, so of course, by default, he is the favorite. But I have a feeling that this will be possibly the BAF of the year, given the amount of anticipation that we have had for this figure in the community. So overall, this Marvel Legends wave is going to cost you about $200. Is that too much? Now, a lot of you are going to skip out on the Wolverine, so that'll save you a little bit of green. But this price hike is going to put a damper on things. Like, let's be honest. If you're a real collector, you're going to keep on paying the high prices. When the price of cigarettes started to rise, I don't think there was a reduction in the amount of people smoking. So we're addicted to this plastic, so we're going to pay. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make other sacrifices, like gas and electricity. Who needs that when you have a room full of Marvel Legends to keep you warm? So now that another Marvel Legends wave is in the books, hopefully we have some retro card Marvel Legends coming out in 2022 that they may sneak on us in the summer. And the Elite Legend is hoping for this figure. Now, I know it's a long shot, but look at this guy. He is in dire need of a redo. So if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted to all of Elite Legends' next videos. Check out my G.I. Joe Classified Series playlist, Marvel Legends playlist, Thrift Haul playlist. Elite Legend does it all, and I love interacting with you true believers, so drop a comment below. Now, until next time, I want you guys to do something for me. I want you to make mine Marvel.